Hi, this recording is coming to you from Jerusalem. I'm returning tomorrow morning. I'll be back in school on Tuesday, and hopefully, I'll be able to teach the high school at 12 and the elementary school at 12:45. And I'm planning to do reviews. Abraham is old, and now we're about to see what's happening to all of God's promises, land and people. Okay, so now Abraham sends his servant to find a wife for his son. And he is warning his son not to take a wife from where? He is not allowed to take a Canaanite girl, and he makes him swear that under no circumstances will he take his son back out of the country. He tells him to where should he go to find a wife? Indeed, to his own country, to his own family, and that's where he should find a wife. What's the condition for release from the oath? If the girl doesn't want to come with him, then he is free, but under no circumstances should he take Isaac out of the country. And he repeats, God repeats the promise in verse 7 that Lezaracha eten et haaretz hazot, unto your seed I will give this land, and he will send his angel to help you find a wife. And only if she doesn't come, he repeats, then he is clear. Okay, and the servant swears to Abraham. How many camels does he go with? 10 camels, and brings with him what else? All sorts of gifts. Okay, and he comes. Where does he meet the girl? At the well. So it's a biblical characteristic where people are meeting at the well to find their future spouses. Okay? And the servant comes to the water and he makes a condition with God. What's the condition? Indeed, the girl who says, when I ask for a drink, I'll give you, and I'll also give your camels. And that'll be my sign. And whom does he meet? Rebecca. She is the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor. So Milcah and Nahor are husband and wife, remember that? And Bethuel is their son. So he is the brother of Rebecca, and that makes Isaac and Rebecca cousins. What does she carry? She carries a water pitcher. And she's described as being very pretty. Okay? She fills her water. And again, now the real test comes. Before it was just the condition. And indeed, Rebecca offers water to him and his camels. And then what does he give her? He gives her a golden ring of a half shekel weight and 2 bracelets for her hand, and they're quite heavy, gold. And then he asks her, after he gives her the gifts, please note, after he gives the gifts, he asks her, what? Who are you? What's your family? And is there room in your family for us to sleep? And she says, I am the daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, Nahor's wife. And she says, indeed, there's plenty of food and space for us to sleep in our house, for you to sleep in our house. And the servant blesses God because everything has taken place, right? Everything happened exactly the way he asked. She draws water. And what does the girl do? She runs to the house and she tells the family. And the brother Laban comes out once he sees all the gold and the jewelry. Maybe he's hoping that he's also going to get some gifts. And he blesses him. Come, the blessed one of God, and he invites him to the house. He gives them food. He gives the servant food. But what does the servant say? He refuses the food. He says, first I have to tell you why I came. So he's loyal to Abraham, and he tells how rich Abraham is, namely, it's a good match. You marry him and your daughter will be, or your sister will be very comfortable. And she tells the whole story that Isaac was born when she was old. And the servant made me swear, sorry, my master made me swear not to marry a girl from the Canaanites. Okay, and he sends him to his wife's family, to Nahor and Milcah, to find a wife. And he tells them exactly what God told him to do, namely the girl that's going to draw water. So what's he trying to do? He's trying to say that God made this happen, and you really don't have a choice to tell me whether she's going to come with us or not, because God already did that. And again, she is hurrying to do everything that he asked, takes off the pitcher, draws water, him, etc. And he tells her the family, and I bowed to God. He keeps emphasizing God in his remarks. And now, look to you. Let me go right or left, but just give me an answer. Are you letting her go with me or not? Right and left, we met with Lot. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. So you could be asked a question, in what two places are right and left mentioned? And Bethuel and Lavan, the son of Bethuel, says, well, God made it so. Lavan ben Bethuel answered, the thing comes from God. We cannot speak to you, bad or good. It's not in our hands. We have no choice. Take Rebekah and go like God wanted it to happen. And when the servant hears this, he bows down because he realizes that God made this event take place. Takes out silver jewelry, he gives it to her family, and he says, okay, let me go to my master. I've given you all the gifts. Let me go. And now her brother and her mother can have a little bit change of heart or a little bit emotional, right? And she says, let her stay a few more days. Let her stay a little while longer with us, 1 or 10 days, a few days to 10 days. And he says, God made it happen, and don't delay me. Sorry for that interruption, and let's continue, please. Okay, so they don't know what to do. He says, don't delay me. God made it happen. And so they decide, let's call the girl and let's ask her what she says. Okay, and they asked her, and she indeed said, I'll go. And they sent her away with her maid, with her nursemaid, and the servant, and they went and they blessed her. And this is an important blessing. Our sister be a mother of thousands and of tens of thousands, and let your seed possess the gate of those that hate them. So, in Hebrew, Achotenu at heyi lalfei revava. That's an important blessing, and it's said today, even till this day, it is recited at every wedding ceremony when the bride is veiled. Rebecca gets up, gets on the camels, and they're traveling, and Yitzchak is coming from Be'er Lachai Roi. You must remember that name, Be'er Lachai Roi, and Parazar, that's the place where Hagar found the well for her son Yishmael. So Yitzchak is coming, and he is in the field in the evening, and he lifts his eyes and he sees camels. And she lifts her eyes and she sees Yitzchak, and she falls off the camel. Is she so emotional? Is she nervous? Text doesn't say. But we should know, because this is a trick question. What did she do? She fell off the camel. And she said, "Who is the man?" And the servant says, "This is your future husband. Hu Adoni, he is my master." And she covers herself with a scarf. She covers herself with a veil, and the servant tells Yitzchak everything that took place. Yitzchak brings her into his mother's tent, and she was his wife, and he loved her, and he was finally comforted for his mother's death. Let's try to quickly get the next chapter. Avraham marries another woman. Her name is Keturah, and I'm going to leave out all the names that are born from Keturah, but Avraham doesn't give his inheritance to the other children. He gives everything to Yitzchak. But he also gave some pleasant presents to the sons of all the sons of Keturah, and he sends them away, as if to say, while he's still alive, he sends everybody away so that Yitzchak should be able to inherit him. Abraham dies, and he is gathered onto his people, and Yitzchak and Ishmael come to the cave in Marat HaMachpelah in Ephron the Chiti, and Mamre to bury him. And the cave that Abraham bought from Ephron HaChiti, that's where Sarah and Abraham were buried, and Yitzchak lives in Be'er Lachai Roi. Okay, and now we have the names of the family of Yishmael. I would not put too much effort to memorize all his children's name, but to know that there were 12 sons that Yishmael had, and now we're told about Yitzchak. Yitzchak was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel from Padan Aram, the sister of Lavan, for a wife. And he prays to God because Rebekah cannot have children, like Sarah couldn't have children, and she became pregnant, and the children were struggled within her, like they were pushing around, and she prays to God, and he tells her that there are going to be 2 nations in your tummy, and 2 nations, one will worship the other. And indeed, there were 2 children. The first one was reddish, hairy, and he was called Esav, and Yaakov was born while his hand was holding his brother's heel. And Yitzchak was 60 years old when they were born, so they were married for 20 years. Esav was a hunter, Yaakov was a simple tent dweller, and Yitzchak preferred Esav, favored him, because he was a hunter, and Rebekah loved Jacob, and Jacob was making soup. Esav comes from the field, and he says, "Give me some soup, I'm hungry." And he says, "Give me, I pray you, some of this red pottage soup. I'm very weak." And he was called Edom. Play on words in Hebrew, Adom, the red pottage, and in Hebrew, Edom. And he says, "I'll give you, but you have to sell your birthright to me." He says, "I'm going to die. What the hell do I need a birthright for?" And Esav sells the birthright, and he sells the birthright, and he kind of despises the birthright, almost humiliates the right. I'm going to stop here.